Hi and welcome to RC Copter Love. As you see, my loved transmitter is back after the repair, but as soon as I got my transmitter back, the weather was getting so worse. First we had snow, then we had rain, now it's very cold, and I decided it's much more worthwhile to fly in the simulator, and I will show you what I have trained in the last few weeks and what are my goals. So let's fly. Okay, in the first flight I show you what I want to reach. So my goals in general, not just for this year, not just for the closer future, are maneuvers in which I combine, for instance, forward flight with a half roll, going into inverted, and flying out of this, for instance, with a outside loop, going again into an outside loop. That was not the good way, but the planes, the acrobatics with planes were inspiring me in such a way. They very often go into inverted, and for the further future, I want to fly out, for instance, in a turn, inverted, then going again into an outside loop, combining this, for instance, in something which is not inspired by planes, which is only possible with helicopters, going into backwards flight and doing, for instance, a backward loop. That was almost stopping, so that was too slow, but I hope you get the idea. To combine different sorts of flying in a very smooth way. So this is my goal. Now a clockwise turn in forward flight. And for strange reasons, for me, forward flight in inverted is easier than backwards flight. Although theoretically, you see, sometimes I'm also mixing the elevator, so I'm giving up elevator instead of down elevator. Oops, now I was losing totally control, sorry. But this is a disclaimer, I'm training all this, so I'm very, very aware that all this needs a lot of training, but in this winter I want to work on all these things, so also I can fly out of this inverted backwards with a half roll to upright and right away do a turn or a circle with this helicopter model backwards, then changing to forward flight to also never lose the feel for forward flight and forward upright compared to forward inverted. So these are all, oh, that was very bad. You should never do something like this, even in the sim. You should never fly over the line of flight, but this is a flight just to show you what I want to do in the future. And believe me, in the future I want to do this all much better. So my goal is, my most important goal is what I was not showing you in this moment of flight. I want to always have control where my helicopter is flying. This is for me the most important thing. I did it very bad in this video because I was totally out of control. To this belongs that I'm not mixing, but I'm changing from forward flight to backwards flight. Again, a roll up, So I would love to have these rolls much more clean, or a full roll. So they are not clean at all, but this is my goal. So I'm working on this all, and I hope you get an idea of what I want. I want to also combine normal loops with outside loops, and again a normal loop with an outside loop, and this all going then inverted in a little bit Immelmann style, going from upright to an outside loop, going forward. So this was very bad shown, but as I told you, honestly, I'm working on all this, and these are a lot of goals. It does not look spectacular maybe, but for me, this is the kind of flying that I want to get to one day, and I want to do this controlled, very aware, very precise, and that is what I want to do one day on the field. I hope not too far away. So now in the next flight, I show you how I want to get there. And now in this second flight, I will show you how I want to get to all these goals. For me, the most important is to have control inverted in the same way like I have control when the helicopter is upright. So you know from my older videos that for me precise flying is very, very important. So, and to reach more control in inverted flight, I am flying now in the simulator very, very often. I try to keep it slow. I try also to keep the altitude somehow stable, because if the helicopter is gaining too much altitude, this is not good. This was not good, but it was also maybe a little bit caused by my talking. I'm now much too high. The other aspect of very slow flying is that you really have more time to think, and you are doing constant small corrections to keep the speed of the helicopter as stable, slow as possible, because every helicopter has the tendency to speed up in circles or turns as soon as you give, I show you this now, as soon as you give more lean angle, the helicopter speeds up at once, and you always have to give the opposite side of elevator to break it down. So this was so difficult for me, and now I'm going in counterclockwise. I'm already too fast now, but you see with the elevator, with the tail up, in upright, tail down, in inverted, I'm slowing this helicopter down. So this is, for me, that was one advice or one trick I found. And also I try to fly to defined spaces. So I fly here, I hold the helicopter here, I turn the helicopter around, and I try to fly. And you see again, I was mixing the elevator. This is still something that never should happen, especially on the field. And I was mixing now even the sides. So this can happen. Also, when you're talking, this is one thing that needs a lot of focus. And I told you that strangely, for me, flying backwards, inverted, I was even mixing now the directions, is more difficult, although it's theoretically and practically more easy. So I was losing the speed totally. So I'm very often still giving bad inputs with the elevator, so I'm much too far away now. For this video, the helicopter is almost not visible, but I'm flying back to us now. And all this together, that you have to think different with the collective pitch, down is up is down. So that means, but I'm trying now to do a turn to the other side. Again, not flying too far away. A turn, something like S curves or S turns. So this is very good to get the directions sorted. Also this speeding up the helicopter now, speeding up in backwards flight, slowing it down. This shows you over the time. You can even fly an outside loop backwards. So I try this now. Oh, also another wrong aileron input, but for this reason I'm doing it. So that is what I'm trying to do. This was one thing I was trying to do, and I will do a last flight to sum up the tips I wanted to give you. It's always a little bit too less time to show it all, so one last flight in which I sum up everything. So in this last flight I try to sum up what is very important for me. As in upright flight, I try to bring the helicopter to a defined space. In this case, it is this ring symbol on the grass from where I was starting. You will see it right now. For me, and I think for many pilots, it will be that precise flying is a little bit more difficult, even in the simulator, than in the real world. Please tell me in the comments if you feel the same in regards of precision, because you don't see the helicopter really three-dimensional. The screen is flat and there's only one dimension, and to see really the distance from you, this is very important, to know what you have to do with the helicopter to get it now, for instance, over this circle, and to keep it for a short moment there. So this is important. Then I'm trying always the directions, which directions are needed with the tail to fly, for instance, a turn. So for me, in the beginning, it was much more easy to fly turns than at once circles, what is totally logical. So I was concentrating more. Oops, that was, you see, I was flying, and it doesn't matter, we continue. Doesn't matter, we continue. No, we continue. And so this happens in the simulator. So, and it is also for me, for instance, important to do different things right after the other. For instance, now an outside loop, going into a normal loop, again going into an outside loop. This is a great training to get a feel for the elevator inputs needed. The same is, for instance, with changing from forward flying. I showed you these tips already in another video, but it's very important, and sometimes we are forgetting about such things, to backwards flying. So I'm flying now clockwise, backwards, directly after flying forwards clockwise. So because you have to do the opposite things in some way. Now I'm flying an outside backwards loop. No, this is an outside backwards loop coming from a forward loop. So I want to fly all these things going directly into a forward loop. So because you have to very quickly shift in your mind, which orientation do you have? Upside down or upside up, normal flight. So the same is with these turns, to fly a turn inverted. Sometimes I'm mixing up the elevator input and I can go into a roll and flying upwards, the same kind of turn, or the other way around. So this is something which gave me a lot of feeling in general. So, and once again, very, very slow flying is for me extremely difficult, and I think for anybody, but gives a lot, because things are not going out of control so fast. Like if you do, fast flying around, not taking care where the helicopter really is, if 10 meters more left or right. So for me, all this precision and slow flying is very important. It was a full flight again, but I wanted to show you once again summed up what I'm training and what are really the things I'm taking a lot of attention and which are important. So after the flights, a short summing up of this year and what will come. Thank you. So the simulator really became my very good friend. I still have the relatively old AccuRC 3.0, but I have also an old computer, so this graphics is okay for me, and I really love how much I can compare flying in the simulator with flying on the field. I very often did a flight in the simulator and then I went on the field, and I was always astonished how well this simulator gives the feeling that you really have on the field and the other way around. So I want to build on my abilities. I want to go in direction of this very smooth flying but clean flying, and for this I can really recommend you this slow flying. It is giving so much. I can repeat it all the time, and the simulator. So I prefer now in the winter, because before I get frozen, because before my batteries are getting destroyed, when there are minus temperatures like now, for instance in Poland, I prefer training in the simulator. I think this gives me much more. Of course, I don't know exactly when I will be able to do the things I do now in the simulator on the field. I have to try it in a safe altitude. I have to try it one day. And if I regret something in this year, it is that I was only focusing on the small helicopters. I was completely avoiding to set up my M5 because I was really afraid. I have a new TX. I have, for the first time, a not direct drive motor. I have decided that I go for rotor flight in the flight controller. And I am now really preparing for this M5. I will watch a lot of videos for the setup. Jonas even told me that he can give me some files or some advices to PID gain settings. So I will need help, and I will have help from different people. And this is my next project. I want to really get, that's my goal, my M5 at least once, 2, 3 times into the air. I want to maiden it now. And when I'm regretting, I think I will have a lot of fun. It's a beautiful helicopter, and I love the bigger helicopters. I always loved the M4 Max. It's the biggest for the moment with the 420 blades. And I love the rotor sound. And I am a little bit angry on myself that I didn't enjoy these helicopters in a way I could have enjoyed them this year. But I'm working on this. So the next video will be how I prepare for my M5 if I don't manage to bring it in the air. And I wish you a good time in the Advent. I don't know if it's in English the same way, these weeks before Christmas. And we will see again with hopefully the M5 prepared. So thank you, and thanks again to my wife for filming all these videos all this year. She was always with me, and she is now also with me. I thank you very much. And if you like this video, give us a like. If you like it very much, subscribe to our channel. We are always happy to have new subscribers. And see you again on RC Copter Love.